Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 9th of August. The first important news is about the state of elementary education in rural India report. Second, that is Supreme Court hearing on Article 370 abrogation. Supreme Court has its own opinion when it comes to the part of a decision that was taken by the Union government with regard to the abrogation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir. Third, that is reducing activations of tuberculosis by the improvement of nutritional status. We'll see the detail of the report that has been released. Second, that is Ministry of Defense to switch to locally built OS in the computer. Recent times, we have seen a lot of malware and spyware hindering the part for the functioning of the government offices. So, Ministry of Defense initially has started with the indigenous OS in the computers. And the last is an editorial 5 years of Ayushman Bharat. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do hit that like button. Starting the session with the first news, that is State of Elementary Education Report in Rural India, something important for General Studies Paper 2. That is the issues related to development, management of education as well as human resources. So the state of elementary education in rural India was reported and recently released by the Union Education Minister. The Education Ministry was earlier known as Ministry of the part of MHRD, which is known as Human Resource Development. So the survey was conducted by the Development Intelligence Unit, better known as DIU, in collaborations between the Transformation of Rural India and Sambodhi Research Communication. So this was a collaborative effort which has given some finding with regards to the participations of the children in the elementary education and even the role of their parents as well. Now, finding of survey की अगर बात करें, so access to gadgets की बात की गई है. First, the survey found that 49.3% students in rural area have access to a smartphone. This is one fact. These are the important folder point that even you can use in the mains paper, right? So this is one part. And however, the parents whose children have access to 76.7% said latter primarily use mobile phone to play video games. So the progress in terms of using the smartphone for their academic use was not on the higher side. Instead, they were using it for other purposes, entertainment purposes, or for the video games. So of all the students which has access to gadget, 56.6% use the device for downloading and watching the movies, and 47.3% use them to download and listen the music. Now the student in class 8 have more access to a smartphone, that is 58.32% of the student that with class 1 to 3 में सिर्फ numbers 42.1% के. Definitely at this age the preference of the parent is also not on the higher side, so they reduce the number. Now only 34% of the gadgets were used for downloading the study material, and 18% have access to online learning through tutorials. Now, parents' participation is very important. Once we are talking about the part of education system in the country, the parent participation become very important. So the survey shows that only 40% of the parents have conversation with their children about the learning in the school. This means कि जो डेली डे टू डे स्कूल्स में जो स्टडीज करवाई जाती हैं या फिर बेसिकली जो आउटकम्स हैं उनके बारे में डे टू डे रिव्यू सिर्फ 40% पेरेंट्स ने लिया, while 32% them have such conversation in their future. Additionally, 31.6% of the parent have mentioned that their children lack interest in the studies. And on the parent participation, the survey revealed that 84% of the parents started that regularly attending the parent-teacher meeting at the school. Now, top two reasons for the parents for not attending the meeting were short notice and the lack of willingness. See, willingness can also be one reason, but the other reason is that the parents are actually employed somewhere where they do not get the part of holidays or the part of leave that is essentially required. तो उस वजह से भी कई बार पार्टिसिपेशन पेरेंट्स की जो लो और मिडिल क्लास फैमिलीज होती हैं उनमें कम देखी जाती है. 40% of the survey found that parents have a conversation with their children around learning school every day. Now, just to give you a part of the data that is aspiring for higher education, expected level of education की अगर बात करें, up to elementary, boys में 4.4%, for girl it is 3.9%, the total is 4%. Now, up to secondary, this is 2.4, higher secondary 11.1, so graduation clear number, and for post graduation is 32.5, 27.8. So these are the data that you can even utilize in the mains paper. Now, secondly, that is Supreme Court hearing on Article 370 abrogation, something important for General Studies paper 2, that is structured organization and functions of executive and judicial. So the Honorable Chief Justice of India, while responding to the petition in Article 370 that called for the part of abrogation, which was recently taken by the Union government, and said that the Brexit type referendum cannot be envisaged in India. Right? He said India is a country which has uniformity in democracy, the due process of law is being followed, and citizen priority is the foremost priority. So we cannot go for Brexit type referendum when it comes to the part of Article 370. The court has noted that Article 370 was read through the series of executive order without any consultation from the citizen of the state, that is Jammu and Kashmir. ना ही वहाँ के लोगों से कोई कंसल्टेशन हुई, ना ही किसी तरह से कोई स्टेक होल्डर से कंसल्टेशन की गई. राइट द डिमोनेटाइजेशन की जिस तरह से स्टेप्स ली गई थी गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से, द सेम हैज कंटिन्यूड, which is something not under the spirit for the part of democratic fabric and even the core essence of the constitution. The apex court said that the constitutional democracy India seeks as public opinion through the establishment institutions such as parliament and not through the Brexit type referendums. Now, government's malafide intentions की अगर बात करें, while arguing the petitions of Article 370, the senior advocate accused that basically from the part, senior counsel here was Mr. Kapil Sibal. So he has accused the union government that playing a fraud on the part of constitutions by tweaking Article 370 by sidestepping the preconditions of getting the recommendations for the defuncted Jammu and Kashmir Constituent Assembly for declaring Article 370 inoperative. Now, public opinions की अगर बात करें, the constitutional democracy seeking the opinion of the public should be done through the establishment of the institution. Any recourse of the public opinion has to be sought through the established institution. The union government has diluted Article 370 through a series of executive acts stating that the dilution of Jammu and Kashmir Legislative Assembly and the state government. Now, if you look at the part of Article 370, जो legal opinion है वो divided है. For like the people who are favoring it say that Article 370 was temporary provision of the Constitution. Special privileges were temporary and cannot be conferring right. In opposition with Article 14, which guaranteed equality and cannot be revoked, can be revoked through the presidential order. This is what the people has said favoring this. Now, the against opinion goes like the same provisions of the article cannot be used to dilute it. Parliament cannot replace the state legislature with the governor. Now, not seeking the legislation not against the spirit is again the part of the consultation which was not made. And SC President side the part of Parliament approved for the application. So definitely now the Supreme Court has to define and decide upon the part of the legality. Now moving ahead, reducing activations of tuberculosis, improvement of the nutritional status report, something important for general studies paper 2, that is issues related to development and management of health. The first of its kind trial supported by ICMR, that is Indian Council for Medical Research, उन्होंने अपने findings में कुछ important facts दी है about improving the nutritional for the family member of the tuberculosis patient, जो कि almost 39 to 48% तक reductions देखी गई है इस तरह की incidents में after the survey was conducted. Now, according to the study published in the Lancet August 9, was based on the finding of reducing the activations of the tuberculosis by improving the nutritional status conducted by UNOPA Medical College, Mangaluru, and supported by the Union Government of the National TB Elimination Program and National Institute of Research in the Tuberculosis, Chennai and ISMR. So it was a collaborative efforts which has come up with the finding how the recovery for the patients of tuberculosis can be done and what are the essentiality that is required to maintain that practices of the healthy practices. Now findings की अगर बात करें, the study shows that improvement in the nutritional level and tuberculosis has substantially mitigated from the past. This is the first time that the study assessed the link between the nutritional and preventive new disease. The trial says that the study shows the nutritional supplement reduced the incidence among the household containing 39% of all form tuberculosis by 48%, and the microbiology confirmed the pulmonary tuberculosis. Now tuberculosis की cases की अगर बात करें, India has a largest number of tuberculosis cases globally, and it is estimated that the incidence has 27.7 lakh cases according to the government data. The country is aiming for 80% of the reductions in TB incident and 90% reductions in the TB mortality by 2025 because government has categorically and specifically come up with the TB elimination mission. Tuberculosis की अगर बात करें, it's an infection, bacterial disease है, काफी important है ये आपके prelims के लिए, which is most common affects the lung, that is a pulmonary TB, and can damage the other parts of the body too. Impact of food basket एक trial की गई है, that trial spanned for 3 years in the state of झारखंड जहाँ के 4 districts को identify की गई, and the cluster based randomized design was adopted to the group of individual जिनको randomized treatment की गई, और research paper के through ये पता चला है that trial were aimed at studying the part for nutritional supplement on the TB और किस तरह से वो recovery में help करती हैं patients को, and what are the other things that is essentially required. ये सारी चीज़ें नेशनल टीबी एलिमिनेशन प्रोग्राम के प्रोविजंस के थ्रू की गई हैं. Now moving ahead, MOD, that is the Ministry of Defense, switched to locally built OS in the computer, something important for General Studies paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. तो Ministry of Defense ने decide किया है कि वो indigenous India की जो operating system है OS Maya वो सारे computers में use की जाएंगी, and it will replace the part of the Microsoft OS that we are using. Right? This is the OS Maya, which is locally based on the part of open source Ubuntu. The part that government is also including is Chakravyuh, जो कि system में installed होगी ताकि endpoint detections की जा सके and system protections को enhance किया जा सके. Currently, OS Maya is being installed only in the Defense Ministry system, and the part of the system that is connected with the network for the 3 services. Now, OS या operating system Maya की बात करें, it has an interface that has functional like window, and user will not have much difference as in the transition. OS Maya is being installed on the computer of the Defense Ministry only, क्योंकि बहुत सारे ऐसे cases report हुए हैं, and the government is looking forward to augment the part of security using the part of softwares. Now, the government agencies has developed the part of operating system within 6 months. Reportedly, ये कोशिश की जा रही है कि जितने तरह के साइबर अटैक्स इंडिया में हुए हैं, इवन फॉर द पैरामिलिट्री एंड डिफेंस फोर्सेस, दिस शुड बी स्टॉप्ड कंप्लीटली. नाउ मैलवेयर और रैंसम अटैक्स की बात करें, दिस हैज बीन देयर सीरीज ऑफ अटैक्स फॉर रिपोर्टेड क्रिटिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के ध्यान में रखते हुए भी दे हैव बीन सेवरल एफर्ट्स इन द पास्ट फॉर द डिफेंस मिनिस्ट्री टू ओवरकम दिस चैलेंज. एंड इफ यू टू डाइवर्ट द टॉपिक, आई मीन अगर किसी और इशूज़ की बात करें, एम्स की भी ऐसे इंसिडेंट है जहाँ पे आपने देखा होगा कि मैलवेयर के थ्रू, रैंसमवेयर के थ्रू बहुत सारी ऐसे फ्रॉड्स किए गए हैं, द सर्वर वेयर कंप्लीटली हैक्ड. Now moving to the editorial of the day, 5 year of Ayushman Bharat, important for General Studies paper 2, that is welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the center and the state government. Now what are the issues under this editorial? First, we come to the theme and the focus of this article, that is आयुष्मान भारत रिपोर्ट कार्ड की तरह आप इसे देख सकते हैं, द प्रोग्रेस फॉर द लास्ट 5 years. फीचर्स देखेंगे, बेनिफिशरीज को क्या बेनिफिट मिली है एंड द वे फॉरवर्ड. सो आयुष्मान भारत एक गवर्नमेंट की बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट फ्लैगशिप स्कीम है विच वॉज एक्चुअली लॉन्च्ड as per the National Health Policy 2017, and this was the recommendation that was made on the policy, and this particular policy, that is Ayushman Bharat, has taken a great leap towards moving the part of accessible healthcare services to all citizens of this country. कुछ selected लोग ही इसके beneficiary हो पाए हैं, even This is also the program which is known as Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Ayog Yojana, started in September 2018. The scheme has been closer to the Sustainable Development Goal, that is 3.8, that is envisioned as a part of universal health coverage. Now फीचर्स ऑफ स्कीम्स की अगर बात करें, 5 लाख रुपीस पर फैमिली को प्रोवाइड की जाती फॉर हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन, और इसके बेनिफिशरीज ऑलमोस्ट 12 करोड़ फैमिलीज जो हैं उनको बेनिफिशरीज दी गई हैं. बॉटम 40% ऑफ द population is availing the benefit, right? About 15.5 crore families are covered under the Ayushman Bharat, और states ने भी काफ़ी बढ़ चढ़ के इसमें हिस्सा लिया. They have been proactively working for the final implementations. 11 states have pushed for 100% coverage of the respective. The scheme had tried to bridge the shortfall between the healthcare and the service provider. Ayushman Bharat card is a pre-card worth of 5 lakh that can be used to avail the part of free treatment and 27% in panel hospitals. Now, just to give you the brief idea about the Ayushman Bharat infrastructure mission, इसके through creations की गई हैं long term public health care की health infrastructure in each district, comprehensive capacity through increased investment and outlay of 64,180 crore over the 5 years. बेनिफिशरीज ऑफ स्कीम की अगर बात करें, 55.39 करोड़ एडमिशन्स हुए और काफ़ी बेनिफिशरीज है. टोटल अमाउंट अभी तक 66,284 करोड़ रुपीस एक्सपेंस की गई. नाउ दिस हैज़ ऑल्सो प्रोवाइडेड द पार्ट वेयर एम्बिट हैज़ बीन इंक्रीज, ताकि कुछ लोगों को और मदद की जा सके. दिस हैज़ रिजल्टेड इन सेविंग ऑफ मोर देन 1 लाख करोड़ रुपीस. नाउ डेली करेंटली 45,000 people hospitalized and authorized under the scheme has been given roughly 31% of the treatment part. Now it is hearing that 48% of the treatment under the scheme has been availed by the women only. Now the scheme caters the poor and underprivileged section of the society, straying through promise of the inclusivity. The Prime Minister Jan Arogya Yojana scheme has been triggering the part of gender community and even transgenders की भी इसको beneficiary जो है उनको include किया गया, so that these people, the marginalized people, should also be included as a part of beneficiaries. So this is an important point for the prelims examination, although you can include this point. About 50 packages were designed specifically for community, including the 6 reassignment surgery package as well. If you look at the part of conclusion and way forward, this scheme के through cashless secondary or tertiary impaired care provide की गई है to all healthcare beneficiaries. Now this ambit scheme has extraordinary potential to protect the people from the serious health hazard, safeguard families against the financial shock due to the healthcare expenditure, right? So this is how the policy has actually helped a lot many people. I'm moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option was B. For second question, the correct option was A. Today's MCQ for practice about the Doppler effect. The change in the frequency of the wave is an observer. It is named after the Australian physicist Christian Doppler. So do check out for the correct option. Second question of the day is about the Tharu tribe. It's an ethnic tribal group in the Tarai region in the Nepal and northern India. This was recognized as an official nationality by the government of India. So do check out for the correct option. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, any queries about test series, admissions, courses, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.